Morning, Joe. Good to see you. Morning, Tron. All right, guys. I do have the risk disclosure up. We'll give folks a bit here to join us. And in the meantime, just remind everyone that don't be shy in hitting the like button. If you're not already a subscriber to this, to me, hit the subscribe button so you'll get notified when I do come online. Okay, and yeah, of course, the hitting the like button is also welcome here. Okay. Just waiting here a couple of minutes, see if we can get the double digits, and then we'll get started. All right. While we wait for more folks, I'll just kind of rough day to trade today. Maybe best to just watch and sim trade. What's different about today than any other day, Tron? Okay. All right. Okay. So, like I said, I do have the risk disclosure up. I'm not going to read it in detail. You can read it for yourselves. But basically, what it amounts to is that I'm here. Not in an advisor capacity. The information that I'm providing here is to be treated as general information only. None of the information is intended as investment advice, offer, sell, to buy, recommend, endorse, sponsor any security company, instrument, or fund. The use of this information contained here, as well as the websites, is to be used at your own risk. And the company, its partners, representatives, agents, employees, and myself assume no responsibility or liability or any abuse, misuse. And we all understand that future trading does contain a fair amount of risk and is not for every investor, and that an investor could lose potentially all or more of their initial investment capital. And we should only be risking risk capital when it comes to trading. Okay. We should not be using money that we need for our life to maintain our lifestyle. And basically, again, the information contained herein is not a solicitation or an offer to buy, sell futures, options, or forex. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Sorry in advance. How do you get Top Step Mobile? Top Step Mobile is just Antha will is just basically the way I understand it is just launching it in your browser. I don't think there's an app necessarily to install. It recognizes your device or whatever and presents the correct version. As far as I know, as far as I understand, I have not worked much with the mobile version, but the mobile version is merely, I think, just launching it, and it will provide you the mobile version to you. I don't believe there's a mobile app of any kind to download and install. It is just merely an adjustment that the app in this case would need to make with respect to your browser and the dimensions of your mobile device. Okay, so that's the way I understand it, Atherwell. I don't think there's anything in particular that you need to do there. Okay, all right. Let's go ahead and stop share and let's begin to share the news here. Okay, start the day with the news. And let's see, close some of this stuff out. Go to economic calendar, and we'll go ahead and no, we're not going to sign up unless they force me to. We're going to go ahead filters. We're going to go ahead clear all. We're going to go down to US. And we're going to select the 2 and 3 star events. 2 and 3 star events. Close. All right, let's take a look and see what we got in store for today. Well, it looks like we have a bit light in the way of news today, which is I don't know, relatively good thing, right? Nothing that we need necessarily to anticipate for. We have a couple of 2 star events, one at 11 a.m. Eastern. We have the New York Fed 1-year consumer inflation expectation report coming out. And then we have a 3-year note auction that's happening here at 1 p.m. We have the standard, 10 a.m. option expiration event, right? That often has a potential impact on futures. So something else to kind of keep in mind there. But that should be something that's already consistent or part of your checklist, okay, for any day, because the option expiration happens, European option expiration happens on a daily basis, okay? All right, let's go ahead and start with some of our charts here. So let's go ahead and reshare. Top trading view and then start, and I'll pause here for a minute, make sure that everybody can see my screen. Appears that it is indeed the case. Okay, so let's go ahead and open up the charts. All right, and we're not going to start with crude oil. We're going to start with gold. Okay, so let's see, expand this one out here. Make this a little bit smaller and reduce this. Okay. Expand this. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to go full screen. Let's have full screen. Looks like it is. All right, this is a little bit better. Okay, so one of the things that I do at the start of each week, and those who've been in my room long enough know this. I like kind of taking, since it's the start of the week, I want to get a view of. I want to get a view of a little higher time frame, okay? And I usually start with the month, okay? And just again, really, it's the point of this is really, just to get a sense of what is the general direction of the market, okay? And we can see, obviously, as we kind of move from so I contain this as much as I can here, but as we kind of move from left to right, right? Okay, as we move from left to right, let me go ahead and remove some of these drawings. Okay, as we move from left to right, it's we can obviously see that we are headed higher, right? Just looking at this from a monthly basis. Okay, so there's nothing here that indicates that there's any sort of break in structure to the downside. We do have a developing monthly, bearish bar, but this is well within the tolerance levels of what we're seeing here, and we continue to make new highs here. Okay, we've broken some structure to the high side, broken some structure to the high side, and we're just right now in a little bit of a pattern, consolidation pattern, potentially for another leg higher. Okay, there's nothing here that indicates that we're in sort of bearish kind of trend. All right, so looking at the weekly. Okay, looking at the weekly, you can see that we're again a little bit more in the way of consolidation. I would say that this is probably a little bit more involved of late. Maybe some of you who are candlestick chartists here will tell me, or let's see if we can move this away. Okay, so this you can see is maybe a little bit of a double top pattern here, right? You got like an M pattern here taking place, 2400 or 2420, 24, what is this? Yeah, 2450-ish seems to be an area of resistance, and we haven't been able to to break that, right? We have to start the week, we have a bullish candle that's developing, but we won't know how that candle is going to finish here for another basically the week here, right? So yeah, maybe I would say maybe bullish to neutral. Okay, neutral obviously over the last few weeks. You can easily see that gold is kind of contained in a range here. All right, so moving down to the daily. Okay, so looking at the daily, here we are again, more consolidation around this area that we had kind of identified as demand. I don't know why I have this. Let's see if I can turn it off here. Turn off this, and I'm going to turn off this. Okay, so you can see here that we've been in this, range, right? We've kind of, I think we've identified this area as an area of demand, right? As an area of demand, and we're kind of, I would say, kind of inching into it a little bit more than we have. I mean, certainly with this candle right here, we definitely we're challenging it a bit. I would continue to say, as long as we can stay above, let's say 2,300, all right, 2,300, then we're going to stay in this kind of range. If we get a break below 2,300, then maybe we start to open up maybe this area down here, 2160, for price to come to. Okay, but until then, I guess we have to do the best we can to trade in this range. Obviously, trading ranges is not the easiest, right? Because that forces us to trade extremes. Okay, more so than any other, more so than trading trends. Okay, all right. So daily is again relatively neutral, I would say. We kind of been hanging around this box area here to sideways. All right. We do have what's positive is that we are in an area where we do see prior demand, but it's been an area that has been tested, right? We got a little bit of reversal. Honestly, probably not the kind of reversal that we would expect, I guess, given if we think this is a serious demand area. And moreover, we've kind of, inched further into it, okay, before the buyer started to step in, not in serious force, but a little bit more participation from the buyers at these levels, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and move to the 4-hour chart. So 4-hour chart, again, we are, as we noticed, on the daily, we have this developing, I guess bullish candle here. That's going to be is basically wiping out some of the sellers that have been, kind of accumulating here on the bottom. All right. Once one candle has wiped out 1, 2, 3, and challenging a fourth. Okay. So if, just like you've seen me do this before, right? But you can see if we were to draw a little bit of a channel here, probably not the best of colors here, but we'll make it work. Say white. Okay. If we look at the channel here, you can see that we're starting to make some create some evidence. This hasn't closed yet, but we're starting to create some evidence to the upside potential, right? In gold. We'll see. This is an hour, a little over an hour away from closing here. So we'll have to see how this closes and see if there's any sort of follow through. I don't have the volume indication on here at the bottom. Let's see if we can add volume. Yeah, if we have volume to support it right here, then right now the biggest volume has been to the downside of late. Okay, the volume to the upside hasn't been as strong as the down volume. All right, so 4-hour, again, similar to what we've been seeing. I would say that this is probably bearish until we get a close above. And if we do get this close above, this channel could indicate that prices could begin to reverse to the upside. All right, 30-minute chart. I'm going to close this, open up this. Okay, so 30-minute chart, we have our little channels that I had drawn here. I don't know if to. I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of this for now. Don't really need them because we've kind of been horizontal here for a bit and just starting to begin to, potentially think about maybe challenging a break of 2330, which will be important for me to really, I guess, embrace the bullish nature of this move. I need to see it break 2335, right? For me to really embrace that this move is, that the buyers are indeed serious here, right? Now, what I am seeing here is that we do see, let's see what this is about. Okay, so there's some news here. So we are seeing a little bit of an uptick in volume to the upside, all right, more so than we've had in the recent past. So this could indicate that we could potentially be seeing or starting to see a little bit of a more conservative move to the upside. All right, so let's go ahead and open up our fixed range volume profile here, and we're going to locate the what is it the 830 bar from Friday. All right, 830 bar from Friday is right about here. Okay, and we're going to bring that across to this, and then here we are. All right, just going to widen this up, put this more to the middle here so everybody can kind of see it and kind of expand this as much as I can. Okay. All right, so we are right now, okay, we've been open here for about 20 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and open up initial balance here, initial balance. Where is initial balance? Interesting. Okay, so let's go ahead and open that up. Initial balance. Okay. Did not open. Did it? Oh, it did. Okay. So there's our initial balance range. You can see here, all right? We have this kind of narrow range here that's been established. And this is, let's go ahead and move this up. So we have, I guess, technically an open right at the bottom of value area low, okay? So at the bottom of value area low. So this area could have provided an opportunity for us to see potential reversal in price. Okay, this area here, right, the end of value is a reference level that could cause price to reverse lower. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start opening up these ADR levels. Okay, let's do that. Okay, so we have ADR levels open now. We are nearing, the ADR level to the upside, and we have ADR well below us here, okay? So again, similar to this value area low, this area up here at 23.31.3 up to maybe 23.33.2 could be an area, again, similar to what we're saying here, right? That could provide an area for a potential reversal, okay? Let's turn on VWAP. Okay, so VWAP is higher. We don't have what is going on here. Let's see. We're going to go ahead and locate settlement price here. All right, settlement price. Okay, where is settlement price? It's in blue. Let's change that to my gold color here. Let's not make that a line. Let's see if we can make that a set of circles and click OK. All right. Still don't necessarily see where it added it here. unless it's this price right here. Looks like it might be this price. So it appears that price is right on top of, let's see, make this a little bit wider here. Bum, 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 puppies. Okay. But there was a way to make this a little stronger. Okay. We'll just go with that. So this appears to be right on top of settlement price right now, which again is another reference level that we can use for a potential reversal off of, right? It's not only a reference level for settlement prices, but we also have point of control here. Okay, so we have a couple of areas, actually a little confluence here between value area low, settlement price, and point of control. Okay, all these areas could offer us an area where we could potentially see price reverse down from here. Okay, that's a reference level. If not, then the next level up is this ADR exhaustion zone above us. Okay, so let's go ahead and start to capture some of these levels so that we can kind of finish up our hypos here. And we're going to say ADR. Oh, that's not going to work. Let's see if we can change that color, because that color is not going to work here. Let's go white. All right, so ADR high is 2331.7. We have ADR low at ADR low here at 2290.6. 2290.6. We have settlement price. Settlement at open this up here again. It's 2325. 2325. Okay. And then of course I don't have my other indicator here. I'll have to add that invite only. This one. Okay, going to turn off ASR. And all right, so we have ASR here. We have the low end of ASR here at 2330, 2332, 2332.1. Okay, and then we have 2354.7. All right, okay. We'll close this up. I think I may have actually finally got everything I need here. Okay. All right. So a lot of confluences here to support a potential, reversal trade, right? We have ASR low. I'm going to turn this off and actually go back to turn this off for a second. Okay. And I'm going to turn ADR back on. Okay. So the thing that's obvious to me are the scenarios I had mentioned. Okay. So we are above, and I might actually, so although it's not going to tell us much different here, I am going to set up an anchored VWAP at this level here, but that's not telling us much different than what we're already seeing here. Okay. We do see a little bit of a W pattern here to indicate that, we do see some upside. We are inside value, so we could potentially see a value area acceptance, right, all the way through, right, if you're of the opinion on bull. But we have a couple of areas here, right? We have ADR that could put a wrench in that process. Point of control also could serve as an area where to cause price below. Okay, so for myself, I'm kind of leaning either to wait for this opportunity price to come up to this ADR high level and see if it creates an opportunity for me to reverse this market down. Okay, the daily and the have been, I guess, more on the lower end of the swing here. Okay, so that's kind of my first inclination. My first hypo is to kind of wait for that opportunity to arise, to wait for this ADR high and then potentially see a move lower. On the bullish side, well, I could potentially use this reference level here of value area low, right? Assuming that price can stay above value area low, then I could see price head up to ADR, okay, or potentially through ADR all the way across to the value area high from Friday. So those are a couple of scenarios. I don't know necessarily which one of those is going to work, but I do have some reference levels here to base that decision. Now, if price were to come back down to this anchored VWAP, that would give me a little bit of another reference that I can use and to manage my risk again for a move to the upside. So those are some of the hypos that I would say here on the gold market. Okay, so we captured our ADR low and our settlement prices. These levels are obviously going to be of importance here. Okay. We need to start seeing some of these levels break to in this case to the upside, or even continued price action to the downside to kind of to see which one of these is going to play out here. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead without risking doing the same process here over again with these other instruments. Let's go ahead and look at crude oil. All right. Okay, like that's minimal adjustments that I need to make here. All right. So again, similar to what we did before here, we're going to go ahead and start looking at the higher time frames, locate the monthly chart, and get a feel for, well, what direction is the market trying to go? Okay. Well, we seem to be in a, I don't know, maybe a descending or maybe somewhat of a symmetrical triangle. We seem to be in a little bit of a consolidation. All right. We seem to be making some lower highs and lower lows, and starting maybe to do the same on the other side here, but with probably less vigor. Okay. Here, I'm going to go ahead and remove some of these drawings. All right. So yeah, it looks a bit to me like a triangle pattern. Okay, so it appears to me like that we are in some sort of consolidation going on here, right? Right. So a little symmetrical triangle pattern here that could again lead to a move, in one direction. Okay, we don't know. What we do know is that the move is going to be of this size, right? Something along those lines. Either it's going to be to the upside of that size, or it's going to go down of that size. We just don't know. We just don't know which direction. We've had 1, 2, 3 tests here, right? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, right? So again, which one is it going to be? Well, we'll need to wait for a definitive candle breaking one side to the other, right, before we can make that kind of call. Until then, we are coming into a point where it's going to do something. Okay, we just don't know which direction it's going to head. All right. Weekly chart. All right, weekly chart, similar kind of thing. More candles. I don't know if this is giving us any inkling as to what direction it might head. It's not. We do have I guess, somewhat of a developing bullish candle here, right? We have a developing bullish candle here against an area. It's kind of reversed off of this area of demand. The question is, can price get above, I'm going to say 80, right? 80, it seems to be the magic number for me, for the bulls to kind of take over. If this is going to continue bearish, well, I'd like to see a new low below 72.38. So either above 80, and that tells me that the bulls maybe have started to take over the market, or below 72, below 72 and a quarter, right? If we get below that, then maybe the bears are looking to continue to take this move to the downside. All right, daily chart. Daily chart, we have a series of bullish candles here. I'm going to go ahead and turn off. I think it's somewhat VWAP looks like it's doing this. So we'll do this and do this. Okay. We'll close this for a second. All right. So here we are again, same, just more candles telling us pretty much the same thing. We do have a bullish engulfing candle here. And now we've started to see a series of bullish candles to the upside. How far could this go? Well, as I mentioned before, this price movement can go as high as 80, right? Or up to 77. That's where we're pretty much at, okay? But this move here, I don't see outside of this area here, this swing could be retested all the way back up to the 80. Otherwise, it's going to come down here. Maybe it retests the 77 level because that was an area of prior support, okay? Looking at the 4-hour. 4-hour chart. All right, so 4-hour chart, here we are. Okay, we have, we've been in this kind of downswing. Now we're starting to make some inroads to the upside. We had a, kind of a little bit of a break of structure here, a break of structure here. Now it's trying to figure out what it wants to do next here. Okay, like I mentioned, I do see a little bit of a level here, okay? Because that's an area I've seen selling in the past, all right? Now, is it going to offer an area for us at 77, okay, to support a potential reversal to the downside and continue in this kind of move? Okay, so let's open up ADR, see where that places us. Okay, so ADR here, we have, it's already kind of reacting away from ADR, right? It looks like it made a push up to ADR and now currently reversing away from it. The thing is, it's reached this level relatively early. So let's go ahead and looks like initial balance. Is initial balance already open? It should be. This doesn't look right to me. Let's see, let's double check on something here, guys. It's not 30 minutes, it's in 1 hour. In day session. Okay, but it's back here, Friday. Not seeing exactly where the initial balance is being drawn here at the moment. Monday. Oh, I'm looking at the 4-hour chart. No wonder. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the 3-minute chart. Sorry, guys, wrong time frame. All right, this looks a little bit better. I was kind of curious why the initial balance was being drawn at a different candle here. Yeah, thank you, Frizu. Apologize. Yeah, so here we are. We have the initial balance range. It's already kind of responded away from ADR here, right? You can see we had a relatively strong candle here. So price could easily come back down and retest this 75.40 level, okay? This level down here. I'm going to kind of highlight in green, right? I'm already seeing some evidence that that's certainly a possibility. Now, right now, it's reacting off of this prior support, not a resistance area. Okay, I'm going to actually color that in green. Okay, you can see here, right? You can see here that this was resistant. Okay, it broke through it. Now it's coming back to retest it. Now, could this area be supportive for a continuation move to the upside? Well, we'll have to see how this candle closes. Okay, it did take a peek below it and was responded. It responded. Okay, so that could speak to further upside. Now, the fact that we've already exhausted ADR to the upside could indicate that we could potentially see a kind of sustained auction to the upside. Normally, we don't like to see. Well, it depends on what you're looking for. For reversals, we don't necessarily want to see ADR exhaustion break so early in the session. Okay, but we just need to see and we need to read what the candles want to do here. If the candle closes below, right, we go closes below initial balance. Okay, then this opens this up for price to come back down to this area before any discussion of reversals. Okay. All right. So let's take a look at fixed range volume profile here. All right, and let's locate the 9 o'clock candle. There it is. Drag that across to the 13th 430 candle. We are not only is it an area of prior resistance, we're also here at value area high. Okay, so if we are going to continue to support this move higher, we do not want to see a close back inside value here. Okay, we don't. I mean, if I had to map out how this would work for a continuation move to the upside, I would not want to see a close inside here, because if it does close inside, then we could potentially have a value area acceptance all the way down to the end of value, which is also the same area as this demand. Okay, and we can get this move and potentially beyond. I'm not sure, but certainly this would be a reasonable target for that move. Okay. All right. So let's call out some of these levels, since Monday's always VWAP is there as well. Okay. Yeah. So that's in there. That's a lot of some confluence here. Well, we have VWAP above. Okay. So if I do an anchored VWAP, let me go ahead and do that. Anchored VWAP. And we'll do it off of this level. Yeah. So we have, we're kind of in an area of decision here. All right. So let's go ahead and start calling out some of these levels. We have ADR high here at which we've already reacted away from, 76.27. We have ADR low at way down here at 74.43. Okay, 74.43. We have settlement. We have settlement at 75.53. And let's go ahead and open up my other ASR here. So we have ASR. We got let me turn off ADR here for a minute. Okay. So what's this? Okay. So we have ASR here. We have 76.83 to the top side. Hey, guy Jim, 76.83 to the top side. And then bottom end, we have 75.38. 75.38. Okay. Turn this off here. Let's turn off this ASR here for a minute. Okay. All right. So here are basically some of the levels I'll be looking at today. All right. In the crude oil market. All right. I'm going to be interested to see how, in the next 60 minutes or so, how this candle closes. Does this candle close inside value, opening up an opportunity that would lead us to the downside all the way down to maybe 75.52, or does the candle close the way it is now and potentially start to develop a candle for a continuation move to the upside? Those are kind of the two main hypos that I'm looking at right now. Does price stay above value? Okay. Does it stay above VWAPs, the VWAPs that I have drawn here? Or does price meander its way into this value area, creating a value area acceptance to the downside? All right. So that's kind of what I'm seeing in the crude oil market. There's no questions. I'm going to go ahead and move to the NASDAQ. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and move to the NASDAQ. We're going to do the same kind of review here, although I think I know what I'm going to see here, but nonetheless, I want to, capture. Okay, so here we are, we continue to make new highs in the market. Okay, so we got up and then continued up here as we move from left to right. We're headed higher. All right, so very bullish move, continued bullish move in the NASDAQ. Don't see much in the way of indication here that we should be looking much in the way of to the short side. All right. Weekly chart also telling us similar kind of thing. Looks like we do have at least an ember here of a bearish candle. Okay, very thin bullish candle here on the weekly. All right, but we're 4 days away, or actually almost 5 days away here from that. You know, closing here. So we don't know exactly how that's going to close. But nonetheless, we continue to break structure to the upside. We have yet to break any structure to the downside. Bullish. Daily. Okay, similar kind of thing. We're kind of meandering, bears are kind of meandering its way down, not with a whole lot of conviction, still very much in bullish control here. All right. And again, I don't look to the left because I know there's nothing there. We are in somewhat uncharted territory here, and continue to be in the market. Okay. Yes, nothing standing in its way. All right, 4-hour chart. Okay, 4-hour chart overnight. We've been kind of, chopping around here a little bit. Maybe slightly, I would say kind of looking a little bit bearish to me. It's looking a little heavy. We have this bearish engulfing, and we're starting to create a little bit of a demand zone, not demand, but supply zone above here. I'm going to color this in red. All right. I do see a little bit of rejection. I did a little bit of follow through candle here. So as long as price does not make a new high here at 19,115, then I could see price, make its way lower. Now, where could it go? Well, I do see an area here. I do see an area here where that might be supportive here at 18. Let's say 18,745. All right, 18,745 would be a nice area for me to participate in the long. Right up at this level, given this kind of price action, I'm not super keen on participating in the long trade at the moment. 30-minute chart. Okay, 30-minute chart. Again, continue to meander around this supply zone that I have drawn on the 4-hour. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and locate my fixed range volume profile tool and go ahead and draw in my value area lows and value area highs here. So we're going to locate Friday. Okay, I'm going to locate the 930 bar, drag that across there. Okay, so here we are. Okay, so we have price. It appears that it wants to open below value, right? So below value, it broke down value area low, thinking it could target. Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I mean, right now, as long as we stay below value, then yes, it is quite possible that we can come back down to some level below us. Okay. Looking here to the left to see where that area is. But yeah, it has a way. This could be a repair day. All right. It could be a repair day in the NASDAQ. I don't see necessarily anything that's going to be standing in its way from a move to the downside. And now that it's broken below value area low and also below VWAP, that could be, I'm going to go ahead and do an anchored VWAP here up at the top, okay, of this move here, right? As long as we stay below these things, then we have, it kind of speaks to, further price action to the downside. So, Guy Jim, I am, in agreement, all right, with your view here that we could potentially see some further downside. Okay. We don't have initial balance because we're about 10 minutes away from the open of the market. We've already talked about a couple of bearish scenarios in the market. We've seen a little bit of bearish activity take place here. Let's go ahead and see where these ADR levels are. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and open up ADR. We have ADR here to the upside, and we have a DR to the downside. So for me, 18,901 would be an area of support, right? And where I could see potentially price head to. Okay, ADR high. Okay, in this case is what is this? 19,148. ADR low is at 18,903. 18,903. We have settlement at 19,037.75. Okay, I'm going to go quickly and open up ASR here. We're going to shut this down here for a minute. Open up ASR. Okay, we have 18,937 on the bottom. 18,937 on the bottom. And then we have on the high side 19,144.25. Okay. All right. Turn this off here. Now that I got my levels, we'll turn this off. Move this away. Okay. So yeah. So again, turn on ADR here at least. All right. So again, guys. So again, looking a bit bearish right now, I would say. Well, again, we're about 10 minutes away from the open, so we'll have to see what the initial balance gives us and whether we get an extension to the downside. And if we do, again, the first target that I see is this ADR level, right? ADR exhaustion to the downside at around 18, let's call it just 18,900, all right? I know I have 18,903 listed, but let's call 18,900 as the target for this potential move to the downside, which was an 80-point move, which is not something to sneeze at, but it does need to get below this area here, right? It does need to get below where it's at right now, because we've had one initial move to the upside. We've got a retest, didn't really, kind of exhausted maybe some of the buyers here, and now we're right back at it, right? So could be an indication for further downside. But I need to see initial balance. All right. Okay. So that's my view on the NASDAQ. Let's go ahead and take a peek at the ES and then, okay. So again, we're going to go ahead and open up the monthly. Okay. Monthly giving us the same kind of feel that we got in the NASDAQ. We continue to make newer highs here. We have, unlike the NASDAQ, we do have a developing bullish candle here. I think I had maybe, I can't recall whether that was on the weekly. We were seeing more of a doji candle, I think, on the weekly or the monthly here. So we do that same doji candle. Maybe it's the same. Maybe it was the weekly what I was referring to. We have this little doji candle kind of developing here up at the top. That very difficult to buy at these levels. Okay, very difficult paying retail. If I'm going to be a buyer of this market, I really need, on a lower time frame, I need to see something that allows me to manage my risk. Daily chart. Okay, similar kind of thing. We've been up at these levels here. You're welcome, Frizu. We've been up at these levels here and not really making any new headway. We did break above some structure here, only to be met with some sellers, although the sellers are not very vigorous in trying to move this market down. Okay. For our chart, again, we are in this kind of range here, not really giving us much of an indication. Again, the similar kind of view that I had mentioned here on the NASDAQ also is applicable here. I am seeing a bearish engulfing followed by some candles that could not make back inside this area. So that leads me to believe that, price could head lower. All right. Just based on this information alone. All right. 30-minute chart. 30-minute chart. Okay. 30-minute chart. We're going to go ahead and locate the fixed range volume profile tool. And we're going to locate Fridays. There it is. And drag this across. Okay, so we are, I would say, probably a little bit deeper below value than we were on the NASDAQ. Okay, price did come up to value area low and has reversed away from it. Again, giving us evidence that maybe potentially price is going to continue lower. Okay, but we're about 6 minutes away from the open. We'll have to see what the initial balance provides us. But for now, we're starting to see some evidence, right? Reversing off of value area low, right? With an engulfing followed by a set of candles. Now, this area right here 53.40 or 53.41 or as low as 53.37.75 would need to be broken to really kind of align ourselves to that move. Otherwise, this area could be area of support, and price could potentially head higher on us. So we do need a new low to kind of confirm that view. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and call out some of these levels here. So we're going to go ADR high here. Let's actually turn on ADR high here. Okay, let's do this right here. Okay. I'm going to turn this off here because it's impeding my ability to review the levels here. So ADR high here at 53.77, 53.77.75. Okay. We got ADR low at 53.25.50. We have settlement at, what is that? Let's just go ahead and call it from the side here. 53.55.75. 53.55.75. 53.55.75. All right, and then we're going to turn off this, and we're going to turn on ASR here quickly. We got 53.74, 53.74.75 top side, and on the bottom side we have 330, 53.30.25. Okay. All right, so here we have our levels. We've already kind of spoken through a couple of scenarios here, right? So it appears that I'm already kind of in this kind of bearish move to the downside. It is coming into an area of prior, I guess, support, and it's initially kind of reacting away from it. Now, if I do get a close and an open, a 30-minute close here, and a break above these two areas here, then I could be headed up to not only inside value, but also all the way up to 53.74.75. So that's, yeah, I would say a bullish case. Okay. If we do break below or hold below and break this, then we're definitely looking to get to 53.30.25. The only issue I have is if I do participate in that trade, I'm kind of running into a wall. Okay. Because this is an area that could provide some support for a move to the upside. And we all know what kind of market we're in, right? We're definitely on a higher time frame in a bullish market, right? So I would be inclined to think that this is going to be supportive here, 53.30.25, looking from an ASR point of view. Okay. All right. Last but not least, okay, we're going to go ahead and look at the Dow. We're going to, again, look at the same kinds of things we've been looking at here just to get a feel. Again, we should not be a surprise here, but this market looks a bit more bearish, okay? Looks a bit more bearish. The reason I'm saying a bit more bearish is because we have an inside candle here, okay? We have an inside candle, right? All these other moves were up at this area. Okay, we had a little bit of a rejection candle. We had a bearish engulfing. Okay, obviously we do need a new low to confirm that this is maybe just the start of a move lower. Okay, but nonetheless, it is aligned with higher prices. Okay, has not broken any significant structure. I'm only commenting on the position or location of this bearish candle. Is inside this candle here, which could indicate, again, prices to continue lower. All right. But we still need a close below. All right. Let's look at the weekly. Weekly kind of telling us the same kind of thing. We do have a clear kind of double top formation here, right? One top, two top, right? Now we're kind of hovering around this area here. It could be somewhat supportive. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead here and draw my little rectangle right here. Okay. as long as price stays inside this area here, then I have to think that it's going to be supportive here. All right. Moving on to the daily. Daily chart, again, more candles, same result, right? We have a bullish engulfing or relatively strong, Maribozu type of candle here, which is the strongest of all candles on the sort of the right candles that have very little in the way of wicks. Here we are above. So if we get a price to close above 39,193, then we could, continue higher in this market. Or if this swing is true, right, then we could potentially hit it, or we can stay in a range, right? That's kind of what we've been doing of late here. We can stay in the range, bounce off this, bounce off this, bounce off this, just continue sideways. All right. 4-hour chart. Okay, similar kinds of thing, just getting more and more candles, more and more evidence as to what it wants to do. Okay, well, again, we have a developing bullish engulfing, but we've been down that path before. Hasn't really led to anything of significance. Okay, volume here is pretty low. Market is not, or just opened here about a minute ago. If I'm going to be supporting along, well, I'm at a good location. Okay, and I have an area of demand, as I mentioned here, that I drew. I'm going to kind of shrink this down here to kind of accommodate the 30-minute, but we have something that's going on here, right? So I have something that I can kind of lean on, to kind of support this potential move, but I do need, price to continue to stay above it, right? Let's see, initial balance here is already open. We're going to head and move on to the 30-minute chart so it becomes visible to us. Okay, so here we are establishing the initial balance range. All right, we're going to go ahead and close this off. We're going to go ahead and open up fixed range volume profile to see where we're at in reference to that. And we'll go back to the 930 bar, bring that across to the 1330 bar. So we are below value. So bears are, I guess, somewhat in control. We are reacting away from settlement price as we speak, as we begin to develop this initial balance. So if we do break below and close below, then you would have to expect that we're headed down to this area, right? Which is, I don't know, this is a kind of a demand zone that we had created using either the 30-minute chart or the 4-hour chart. Okay. So we'll have to see how this initial balance ends up forming or completing. Okay. Let's go ahead and call out these levels here. And I don't want to take on too much. Some of you are opening range traders. I'm not, but some of you are. So let's go ahead and, all right. So we have some confluence here with this demand zone that I drew here. I drew this demand zone without the knowledge of where ADR was going to fall. And look where it fell. Okay, so we have ADR high here above us. We're kind of in the middle. So ADR high here at 39,063. Okay, and then we have ADR low, which is this demand zone that we were talking about at 38,641. 38 ADR low at 38,641. Settlement is 38,857. 38,857. Let's go ahead and turn on ASR. Turn this off. ASR, turn this on. And so we have ASR to the downside. Actually, I'm going to use this one here. So was that 38,725? 38,725, or let's go with this one here. 38,622, since we have the market open. 38,622. And then to the top side, we have 38,977, which is not, it was not too surprising that it's at a near a psychological number of 39,000. Okay. 39,000, right? Psychological level, 39,000. So the expectation here that level will be resistant. Okay. So what are some of our hypos? Well, same set of hypos that we've been talking about with the other markets, right? We have a move. We seem to be intent on moving lower here. Okay. We have some targets below us that it could serve, right? This 38.622 level seems to be an area right for price to continue down to before we see any sort of significant move to the upside. Okay. It's also a demand zone. All right. So yeah, that's a couple bearish hypo and a couple of at least one bullish scenario, right? We obviously up here is going to be an area where if the price does make it up to here, then we will look for, potential short opportunities. If price gets inside value, then we could potentially see a full rotation. But right now it seems to be kind of looking to go lower. All right. Okay. I think that's pretty much it for the markets. I know I'm a little bit over time. I don't know how you guys feel about the black background. The black background is actually a little bit easier for me to see the levels. Welcome any feedback in the comments on whether this resonates with you. Oh, okay. Guy Jim, are you new to me, Guy Jim? Is this your first session with me, or have you attended my sessions before? You prefer the dark mode? Yeah, it's a little bit easier to see. I agree. Project, thank you for that. Okay, thank you, Guy Jim. So you're a supply, demand, volume profile kind of trader. Background's good enough. Yeah, you definitely see in my charts better. Excellent. All right, guys, thank you for that feedback. All right, guys. Well, I think that's it for me. Yeah, I think it is better for visibility purposes. So that's it for me, guys. So I will be headed over to the coaching room here and seeing what I can do to provide any support there. And then there will be no I'll maybe mention that in the group coaching. No coaching call this afternoon. I'm going to be kind of an impromptu couple of days of vacation here. So I will not be available for that tonight. Okay. All right, guys. So be patient. It's Monday, right? Let the markets come to you. Mondays just want to kind of like sit tight a little bit. Let the market kind of digest what happened over the weekend and see where it wants to head before you take on any serious opportunities in the market. And yeah, so trade well, trade safe, trade like a pro, be a market trader. All right, guys. Thank you all in mind. We'll talk soon. Enjoy your day.